Hey everyone. Hope everyone's Monday is going amazing. I have been emotional wreck and I am trying to keep my composure, so you all bear with me, please. Before I get started into what this live is going to be about, I just want to give my prayers and my love to Boulder, Colorado. See, I have scatterbrain already. Boulder, Colorado. They had a shooting that happened earlier today, and my prayers and my love is sent their way. It definitely has been a day. It seems like everything happens on Mondays. I'm running on 3 hours of sleep. But we will all get through this. I will do a couple of shout outs because I kind of really want to stay on topic during this. This is a very important live. This is something that I have been waiting for 20 years. Okay, let's stop. I don't want to cry yet. And I really want to be able to tell my story and put everything that I have out there so I can inform the community more and protect people. That was the whole point of me going and telling my story in the first place. And I want to continue to do that with this live today. Hi, Danny. Hi, sarcastic superhero girl. Hello, Heather, Susan, Soup Medic, Gladys and Grutude, L House, Louisiana girl, Lynn, Rosaline. Thank you all for being here. It means so much. Ghost Gulf Coast Mama. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I've been keeping a lot of people informed on Discord. I have a private Facebook group with some of the individuals that have been who have attended or who have been put through trauma due to this facility. So I have been super, super, super busy all day trying to stay focused on work, trying to get things done, just so I can make this message very clear and finally let the world know that the news that I finally got has been worth all the tears, the pain, the heartache, and everything that I've been through. Hello, Winter Moon. So I'm going to end my shout outs just due to the fact that this is not a monologue, this is an outline just to keep me on task and kind of put everything play by play so everyone can understand exactly why I am doing this live and why it is so important to my community and people around me to understand that I will be their voice and I will hold them through it. And I'm always a message away. I asked my mods to watch chat because I don't know who's all coming in. I know the YouTube community won't cause any issues, but I have been already getting some messages on certain posts. I kind of got a little petty. Try not to let them get the best of me, but I should be used to it because that's what happened whenever I finally told my truth at 9 years old. But it's harder when you're adult and it's hard when all your emotions are going everywhere. So I had to take a moment of clarity and calm myself back down and realize it is not worth my time. So I did. So let me get started. So as you can tell by the post of this, it is basically about a business closing down. I'm going to give a little bit background story about this facility, who owns it, what this facility, the services they offer, and all that stuff. And then I'm going to go into telling my story, and then explaining details about that, and then some other things that sorry, I gotta breathe. Some things that intertwine with the story. And then eventually at the very end, I will talk about the news about this facility finally closing their doors. I literally got the news this weekend, and all weekend I have been a mess. I'm not going to lie. I've been a mess. When you wait for something for so long in your life and it finally happens, I still feel like I'm in a dream. So let me get started with this. So the facility that I'm going to talk about is a facility in Derby, Kansas. It is known as Funtastics. It's a gymnastics place, so it's for gymnasts, gymnastics. They also have a kids summer camp during the summer. They also have a license through the state of Kansas where I live for their daycare. They also are licensed through USAG. They are two twin brothers, Rick and Russ. They own Funtastics. They have owned this business. I did some math. They have owned this business for 38 years before they closed their doors. They started in a facility. They got a facility and rented it in 1984. So that's when they started their business. I believe it was 1990 or somewhere around there. They decided to they decided to buy some land and open up their own facility instead of renting. And so the building that is in the all the pictures, that is the building that they decided to build. So I started in gymnastics when I was 7 years old, so 1997. I'm probably going to dox myself, which I don't care. And I attended gymnastics up until 1999. When I started, it was the best thing that ever happened in my life. I've always watched gymnastics when I was a child. I always watched the Olympics. I mean, I had posters. Like, it was a sport that I always dreamed of doing. And whenever I found out, I was able to finally be able to pursue this dream that I've always wanted. I was ecstatic. I mean, what 7-year-old girl would not be ecstatic of finally being able to pursue something they've always been looking forward to doing, right? So my mom enrolled me and my sister. We started the October of 1997. And it was going great. Amazing. I hit all my milestones. My sister did. We advanced very quickly. It was by the time of summer of 1998 when I started being SA'd. So from 1998 to 1999, so it was about a year and a half, I was being SA'd. I was being touched by my gymnastics coach. He would have me do stuff to him. So that was something that has happened to me previously in my life. I have been SA'd before. And so when the cycle continues, you kind of automatically go into the fight or flight. And I went in and I basically didn't know what to do. So let me back up a little bit. I have court documents as well. Sorry, I'm getting a little nervous right now. Whew, okay. So as I'm attending this gymnastics place, everything is going good until I started kids camp, which is their summer camp. It slowly started off as the small things. I don't really want to get in details. I kind of need to keep it because of YouTube. I don't want to get this violated because I want to put my story out there. So I'm not going to go in details. I do have my court documents. I'm going to show a few of them. I ordered my transcripts today. I'm going to probably do another live once I get those. So I have a lot of information to show. I'm going to take a pause right now just because I need a little bit of a break. And I was going to start this live off with some quotes. So I'm just going to start these quotes real fast. Okay. So let me go here. See if I can blow this up. I apologize, guys. Oh, I don't know what this looks like. It's super small. I'm trying to zoom in. Excuse me. I don't know if I can zoom in. Let's see. Okay. So hopefully you can read this. I'm going to read it off this page because it's better. So this is Survivor Psalms. I have been victimized. I was in a fight that was not a fair fight. I did not ask for this fight. I lost. There is no shame in losing such fights. I have reached the stage of a survivor, and I am no longer a slave of a victim status. I look back with sadness rather than hate. I look forward with hope rather than despair. I may never forget, but I need not constantly reminded. I was a victim. I am a survivor. So that really touches me because of what I'm getting ready to get into in this live. That really gives me strength and really shows me that there is always going to be a light at the end of this, no matter how long it takes. And I will go, when I get more into the story, I will explain a lot about that saying and why I decided to pick that one. And this is another one that I found. She was powerful, not because she wasn't scared, but because she went on so strongly, despite the fear. And so that's another one that really touched home. Oh, going too far. Sorry. And this is one that I have a Facebook group that has to deal with a lot of survivors and people that used to go to this facility that have been victims, not all sexually. I'm not all essayed. Sorry, YouTube. So I will go a little bit more in that details as well. But I have this saying on my background, and it says, "You're not a victim for sharing your story. You're a survivor, setting the world on fire with your truth. You never know who needs your light, your warmth, and raging courage." So let me stop this. Sorry if I get a little choked up. After 20 years, it's still very fresh, very, very fresh. So with those quotes, I want those quotes to stand out to you. I want you to understand my story and understand that I have conquered most of it. There's still things that I have not. But I am way stronger because of things that have happened in my life. So the essay started from 1997 to 1999. I went there from, like I said, 1997 till 1999. The story was I finally decided that I couldn't take enough. It was the weekend. Something happened in my house, so I'm not going to put that out there because it's not irrelevant. And I finally told my mom. And me and my sister were supposed to go back to gymnastics that Monday. And my mom said, "You're never going back there again." So that Monday, we reported to the detectives and to the authorities that we needed to. And later that week, my mom got a phone call from one of the brothers, basically because he wanted to know why we weren't showing back up and what was going on. And my mom basically told him that she couldn't talk about it and they would find out sooner or later. So we reported this in September of 1999, and we didn't go to court until February of 2000. So it took a while for us to get this all off the ground. During this time was kind of a weird time due to the fact that we were moving from one town to another, and the town that we were moving to was really close to Derby. And a lot of people that I went to gymnastics with, I was getting ready to go to school with. So I got bullied a lot. Anything that you can imagine happened. We got death threats, bullying. I had a lot of friends when I started there, and then when all this stuff started happening, I didn't have friends. It was really hard after all of this happened. So after we made the report, of course, I have to talk to detectives. I have to go to Children Exploitation Center, talk to them, get a forensic investigation done, the whole 9 yards. He ended up being arrested, and I will show this document, and he bonded out because they have money. So let me show this document real fast. Okay, let me see. I'm going to have to zoom out on this real fast. Give me a sec. No, wrong one. I didn't cover our names. It's all right. So this is basically saying, hold on, let me stop this real fast. Let me see if I can read it. I'm just going to read it because I totally forgot I didn't ever edit this. But it basically says, says, hello, my name is Russell J. Hancock. I am an extensive supervision officer with the Sedgwick County Department of Corrections, pretrial services. I am writing to you as alleged victim of the crime of aggravated indecent liberties involving the accused/client, Mr. Richard Mass. Mr. Mass is currently free on bond and is being supervised by the Sedgwick County Department of Corrections pretrial service program. A special condition of his bond stipulated that he will not have any contact with you. In the event Mr/Miss does not attempt to or does attempt to call you, please notify blah 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 blah. So that is stating that he is on bond. Well, we all know how the court system works. If you're on bond, you probably got arrested. Just saying. So I have that. And that document is going to be important. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. So we're going to just kind of go through this. And I am not going to lie. I don't remember a lot of details. There's a few things I remember. It's amazing what your brain does when you have severe trauma. And that's another reason why I want to get my transcripts so I can better understand what happened through this process now that I'm older and have lived with it for a while. And I am in a good place. My head's on straight. Have a great support system. And so I know I'd be able to handle whatever is in those documents. So he was arrested. He bonded out. Speculations were he couldn't be, and I have this in some documents and I'll try and find it, but I have a lot of documents. I have like 100 pages of documents that I can show, and they're very detailed. So some of the speculations were he couldn't be around any children under the age of 16 until trial was over. He couldn't use drugs or alcohol. I believe he had a curfew. Just kind of things that you would suspect if you're on probation. That's kind of what he was put on. So as it's leading up to court, of course, we do everything that we're supposed to. We get everything together. We're trying to figure out if we can get more witnesses to testify with me, get any more evidence that, we might need. Just kind of it's getting to the wire, and we're trying to get this as much evidence and make sure that he can be convicted of his crime. And so also my detective, I love her to death, didn't really want me to be involved with the long drawing process. She just only wanted me to be involved when I had to testify. And so I remember when it was my time to testify, I sat there at the podium, and the first thing they asked me is if I saw Brick Mass in the courtroom, and I had to point at him, and I did. And he always had this crooked ass smile. And he had that smile on his face, and it just gave me the chills and the cringes. And if anyone knows, sorry, my nose is running. I'm not crying. Not crying yet. I have a feeling I will. If anyone knows, if you've been in a traumatic situation, and it doesn't matter what it is, eventually when you start talking about the story over and over and over, parts that your brain decide to push back, way back in your brain, slowly start to come to the surface. And that was happening while I was testifying. There was one time they had to stop me because they had no recollection, no written proof, nothing of what I was saying. And I literally made the whole courtroom go silent. Back up a little bit too. My situation became a news frenzy. All the local news stations here in my area covered this case. One of the news anchors, which I am not going to dox anyone or name people, she was actually, from what we heard, was friends with my perpetrator. And she made sure to make this whole entire experience a living nightmare. And she did. She kept trying to ask for interviews, and one of the what would you say? One of the stipulation about the news being there, they weren't allowed to ever put the cameras on us. They weren't able to interview our family. They weren't, like, we didn't want to be any part of it, which I thank my mom for, because I couldn't even imagine being the age that I am now and being able to see that type of footage and having to replay the visual and hearing what people would say. I'm older, and just being able to when I put my story out there, which I'm going to talk about, some of the stuff that I read horrified me. So I can only imagine being 9 years old and having to see that. So thank you, Mom. So I testified, said what I needed to, told them the situations that had happened, all the stuff that they needed. I had no witnesses, so it was just me against him. He decided that he wanted to get character witnesses. And most of these character witnesses were people that I went to gymnastics with, and they were my age or a little bit older. And they all testified against me for his behalf. I wasn't there whenever the ruling happened because my detective and my mom and my family wanted me to be a kid as much as I could and not be stuck in the court. And after, I think it was like 2 days or 3 days of deliberation, the jury, so he had a jury. He could have had a judge do the court or jury, and he wanted a jury because he knew his chances of being let off were higher, allegedly. He was found not guilty due to the fact of lack of evidence. So he was able to walk. Okay. This was in 2000. This was 21 years ago when I had my court hearing, and he was found not guilty due to lack of evidence. So what does most families do after they're put through a very traumatic situation? You pick up the pieces and you try and continue to go, right? You try and make sure your kids still have a normal life. You try and make sure your kids are going to be successful. You try, all your worries about your child now and how this is going to affect their life. Also, to go with the court frenzy, I'm going to call my mom out right now. Instead of going to jail or prison, whatever they wanted to put her in, she decided to punch a brick wall after the ruling and broke her wrist. So me and my mom always joke now and say the wall would always win, so don't punch the wall. Honestly, if I was a parent that happened to my kids, I have no idea what I would do. I would probably just go punch the person. So after all that, all the trauma, all the fear, all the harassment, all the bullying, because it did not stop, after he was found not guilty, my childhood still was very traumatic. Growing up, I was called a liar. I was called all kinds of names. Just awful, awful stuff. So needless to say, growing up in the town that I grew up never got easier. Also during all this, before we started, and I'll show this picture, once me and my sister decided to go to Funtastics, which was not the name back then. So I will show these photos. And sorry if I'm all over the place a little bit. I'm not trying to be, things pop up. That's not the first one I want to see. Okay. So this is the first name that this facility went by. They went by Rick and Russ Gymnastics Academy. When I started back in 1997, oh, I don't blur these photos out. Oh, it's okay, you can't really see them. This is in 1997. This is when I started. They changed the name to Gold Medal Gymnastics. And I am this girl on the bottom left, sitting there holding their feet. That is me. And then after our court hearing, this is the name that they decided to change it to in 2002, Funtastics. We did help them lose a lot of business. They had to remodel the facility to bring in more attraction. So we did hurt their business a little bit. But my question is, why is this facility changed their name 3 different times? And I have, to this day, have not found an answer to it. Trust me, I'm still digging on everything I can because I'm not going to stop. I'm going to run this till the day I die if I have to. So that was another thing that was kind of red flags to people. And there's tons of people that say that they've never changed their name 3 times. And all those pictures that I showed you are from their Facebook page. So maybe that's a way to hide all the allegations, because I know that I probably wasn't the first one, and I know I probably wasn't the last one. So maybe thinking that they can keep changing names to stay off the radar, I don't know. I mean, that is what I think. That is my opinion. I'm not going to put it out there as facts because it's not, because everyone else can make their own judgment about those pictures on why people would change their name for their business 3 different times. So this next part is going to talk about how this all started, how I started to bring my story back to the surface after so long, why it was important to me, why it needed to be done. So this is probably the part that I get really emotional in, because it just brings up all those old feelings, kind of makes you relive a little bit of trauma. When you think me talking about the court hearing whatnot would, but I feel like I kind of blocked that part out of my mind too. So it's not really, I mean, it's traumatic, but I don't really get as emotional about that, except the fact that he was found not guilty. That boils my blood. So I joined this Facebook group back beginning of last year. And I just wanted to join a group that has to do with SV and DV. And I felt compelled to put my story out there when I was 9 years old. And I was in this group for a good 2 to 3 months. I would type up the words that I wanted to post in this group, and then I would delete them. And then a week later goes by, and I kept fighting this for 2 months. Finally, I was like, what do you have to lose? If anything, you have nothing to lose. You've already lost what was already taken. All you can do is triumph and grow and probably save more people. So I decided to post. So I will show you what I posted in this group. I took the group away and all that because I didn't want to exploit this group. So give me a sec. Let me share. So this is my post that I posted in this group. I said I started to type this 3 days ago, and I'm not going to get into details because it's a long story. I was all over news and Derby Informer. If you know or know people who have kids in Funtastic, it used to be called Rick and Russ Gymnastics. Take your kids out. Rick SA'd me for 3 years, so roughly 3 years. I was like, I don't know. I kind of get iffy. I mean, it was like a year to 3 years. I really, like I'm telling you, trauma brain sucks. We went to court and we lost to not having money, and supposedly my story didn't match up. But he confessed to my attorney that he did, and the only way he would confess if it was off record and not being recorded. I was 9 when I went to court. And so I just gave a brief synopsis of what I remembered. And then, of course, everything just starts, all the floodgates open, and you just start remembering this detail and that detail and this detail and that detail. So there's like 133 comments on that post. And I was waiting for the hate, because y'all know when you share news that is very touchy like that, pretty sad our mind draws to all the negativity that might come out of it. My inbox was flooding with support and love, and parents that were concerned that had kids there and trying to ask me details of things that happened. And I was like, I'm not going to get in details. All I can tell you is if you go to the local courthouse, you'll be able to find what you need. I have no reason to lie about this. I want it now and I want it then. And no one, a survivor of this type of act, would ever lie. I truly believe when this happens to someone, it truly does take a part of your soul. So I made that post. It blew up. I am in a group, a Facebook group, private message, and I have 15 other strong individuals that have gone to this facility. Not all of them have been sexually assaulted. Some of them have been physically assaulted. Some of them have been verbally assaulted. Some have been emotionally assaulted. All of them have dealt with trauma from these two twin boys of this, or men of this facility. So how do I live with this, and why did I decide to start this journey? It has not been an easy thing. I know I need to go back. I was in therapy from 5 to 12. When I was 12 years old, I started being very rebellious, made very, very poor decisions. Didn't know who I was. I was completely lost. You name it, I probably did it. I didn't care about life. Life didn't have a meaning to it anymore. Then I got pregnant with my son when I was 16 years old, and he started to give me a purpose in life and helped me with my anxiety, my stress, my trauma. It helped me to understand that life has a purpose again. Not to say my 20s were not a roller coaster as well, because they were. I think it took 20 years for me to finally speak out about this, is because I wasn't able to mentally be capable of understanding understanding the repercussions, not of my actions, but of others that would go towards me, and be able to handle it the way that I do now. I truly, honestly didn't grow up in life until I was, and it sounds so crazy to say, I truly didn't grow up in life until I was about 22. So after I joined the military and got my butt in gear and got away from all the bad things that I was doing to the people I was surrounding myself with, and was able to have a fresh start. That is honestly what rebooted my life. And then later on, finally finding someone that is a very supportive spouse, partner, supports you no matter what, that helped a lot. And so just being able to be stable in my own skin and love myself to the fullest, I decided to finally speak out after 20 years. And so I did. I made that post, and that was a ripple effect. Let me tell you, yes, I have gotten hate from it, from people in the community. Something I already knew was going to happen. If you guys know the town that they were in, it's a small community. It's a country, small community here in Kansas. They don't like people to mess with theirs, whatever, blah, blah, whatever. Bunch of bullshit. So I met quite a few amazing people during this journey, people that have picked me up when I've been down during it, encouraged me, kept me going, made me feel important. What I was doing mattered, no matter what little outcomes happened, no matter how big the outcomes, anything I did during this process was super important. And so that Facebook post, I got tons of messages. Like I said, I found a whole bunch of people that went to this facility, found tons of more survivors. Allegedly, the other twin brother has essayed people. Allegedly, I'm going to say that again. I'll say it one more time. Allegedly, because from my understanding, I am the only person besides possibly one more person, allegedly, before me, that has taken them to court. I'm the only one that has actually taken them to court. I'm the only one that has reported, allegedly, to the police, because I can't speak for anyone else. But I will always be that flame, that fire for people that have been in this situation, because I remember what it did to me. I remember what it did to my family, and no child deserves to be put in this type of situation. So 20 years, yes, this is to all you fucking haters, and you can whatever, be pissed off at my words, but you're not going to silence me. You're not going to tell me what I have to feel, and you're not going to tell me this is not true because you don't know who I am and you weren't there. That's all I'm saying. And you all just need to figure out how to live with the fact whenever things finally come to surface, how are you going to be able to live with yourself with all the negative words that you've said to survivors and victim shaming them? Remember, the true creator has the final judgment. So when I made that Facebook post, like I said, I met tons of people. I went to a lot of organizations that dealt with people in the community. I went to a protest for Save Our Children, met some other amazing people. I said my story for the first time publicly there. And I always wanted to do a protest. Not to, the main reason was to shut them down, but just to bring awareness. The cycle that they have is they'll start with a group of gymnasts. Something will happen, everyone leaves, and then here comes a new group. And that was their cycle the whole time. And so, 20 years later, I spoke out about it, but there's not a timeline on when someone can speak out about them being SA'd or any trauma in their life. How can you decide the timeline on them? You can't. So listen to my words. You are not the driver of someone's story. You're not the driver on how people handle their trauma. You can't control when they want to talk about it. I was a 9-year-old child when I first talked about it and no one listened. I'm in my 30s and you all going to listen now, because what I have to say at the end of this video is going to prove a point, and you can say whatever you want by it. So behind the scenes, I go to a protest. I meet a great group of people. I wanted to do a protest. I had an organization. I'm not going to say their name because I don't know if I'm allowed to, but if I am, I'll put everything in the description as well. They are basically an organization against sexual predators, and they heard my story, and they wanted me to be the first person that they helped to get the word out and the awareness out, and I decided to. And we went to Derby. We were right next to the police station. We had about 10 people. I didn't do it for the outcome because I was there and I was standing my ground and I was telling them I'm no longer scared of you. You'll no longer silence me, and I'm going to shine and I'm going to tell the truth. And I did. And we recorded it. We put it on Facebook. We blew up. And that was the ripple that started everything that is leading up to what I will be saying at the end of this video. So that happened. Unfortunately, during that time, Save Our Children became a huge chaos thing on Facebook. Their Facebook page ended up getting shut down. But we always communicated. We always thought of more ways to get more people involved, keep the story going. Just keep talking about it. That's a huge thing. If you don't stop talking and you don't let them silence you, how can they quiet you? And the more people that do it, how can they quiet all of us? So that was a little bit of the behind the scenes, and why now? Why not? I kept seeing pictures on their Facebook page as well of them doing, being too close to children and just being disgusting with children, and I just got tired of it. Children aren't property. Children aren't supposed to be used for your advantage and your pleasure. Kids are kids and they deserve to have their innocence. And you stole mine, and I will try and prevent you to steal anyone else's innocence. And I will do anything that I can, no matter what. This is a thing that I'm fighting to teeth and nail about. And I hope you know that just because things start out as small, they eventually get bigger. So let's see what else I have to share. I know I have something else to share with you guys. Okay, so I gotta find these in order, so give me a second. Okay, I think these might be in order. Okay. So give me 1 second. Oh, wrong one. Okay. Apologize, guys. Okay. So after I protest, of course, they started getting questions and people were wondering what was going on and why this person was coming and telling their truth and why after 20 years. And so they got a lot of heat. And so this was their response on Facebook. They did take this down. So of course, I love my screenshots. So it basically is stating early August, the incident. I guess I'll read through all of this, so just bear with me because some of this just makes me disgusted. It says, in the summer of 1999, there was a 9-year-old girl who came to kids club. During TV time, the girl took Rick's hand and pulled it under a blanket to her crotch. As soon as Rick realized what was happening, he immediately pulled his hand away. Immediately after the incident, Rick asked Russ, his brother, and Cheryl, an adult female teacher, to come into another room so he could explain what had just happened. Discussion ensued. Rick said he wanted to inform the mother. Russ then reminded Rick and Cheryl about a conversation he had with the mother a few months earlier. All right, disclaimer, Mom, if you're in here, please breathe and blow your nose and take deep breaths. Russ then reminded Rick and Cheryl about a conversation he had with the mother a few months earlier. The in-private conversation between Russ and the mother, May 1999, she told Russ that she felt bad for not paying for the last few months and was going to have to pull them out if he did not let them come for free. She told Russ at the time that if she pulls them out, that she will tell all her friends that her girls were touched inappropriately. Russ asked her, "Do you believe your girls have ever been touched inappropriately?" She replied, "Absolutely not. I would not bring them here if I thought that." Russ responded by asking her, "Why would you say such a thing?" And he said, "Because you guys have been so good to me and my girls, I can't tell them, her friends, that we are quitting because I am not paying." The conversation went on and finally concluded with Russ telling her that she could do some office work to help pay for her child's lessons. Cheryl suggested to just let the matter go. She did not believe the mother was stable and was not to be trusted. Russ agreed. Rick said okay. Rick received a phone call from the mother late August 1999. She told Rick that her daughter had walked in on her and her mom. Okay, so disclaimer, this is going to explain the situation. Sorry, Mom. Well, some of the situation what's not right, but I'm not going to get into this. But this is their words, so I'm just going to read it. She told Rick that her daughter had walked in on her and her boyfriend having sex. The next morning, the daughter told her mother that she knows about sex. The mother questioned her, "How do you know about sex?" The daughter said, "Because Rick and she had sex." When, where, and what was asked by the mother. Daughter replied, "The summer in the Castle Fun at Kids Club." She then described outlandish sexual acts that she said involved Rick on numerous occasions. She claimed these things happened in the open without privacy. She was clearly making it up, and it was unbelievable. So if you guys are already infuriated right now, it gets worse. Rick questioned the mother and asked if she believed any of this. She told Rick, sorry, I don't know why this is still up here. Lost my train of thought, sorry. Rick questioned the mother and she asked if she believed any of this. She told Rick that she must have learned it somewhere. Rick said that he was concerned for the daughter and that he sympathizes with her, but he has nothing to do with it. Rick proceeded to tell the mother about the incident that did occur earlier that month. After telling her, the mother was upset and cried and told Rick that she did not know what to do. He suggested that she get her daughter into counseling, and her mother agreed. She thanked Rick and said she was sorry. Derby Police Department calls Rick September 1999, so this is when we reported it. They tell Rick that they want to discuss the incident that occurred in August. They tell him over the phone that it is a follow-up from Wellington Police Department story. That the 9-year-old girl was bragging at school that she had sex with her gymnastics teacher. They told Rick that he was under no obligation to discuss the matter with them. They told him that there is no evidence or credibility to the story, but they urged him to come down and speak to them anyway and give them a statement. Rick set up an appointment for the end of the week. Rick meets with detectives. During the meeting with the detectives, there was no transcript taken, no voice recording, no filming. Rick gave a statement on the evidence, and the lady detective had some follow-up questions. She asked him, did your hand touch her vagina? Rick answered that it might have. She asked Rick, when your hand was placed on her private area, did you feel any moisture? Rick answered that he was not sure. She asked, did it feel like... I'm not going to say it again because I don't want to get this video shut down. Rick answered that he was never touched blank before, so he did not know. She then asked, why then did you remove your hand? Rick answered, I just did not feel right. The lady detective asked, so it felt wrong? Rick said yes, and at the moment he was handcuffed and charged with rape. Sorry guys, I need to take a drink. This still irates me. Derby detective pleads the DA to take the case. The lady detective asked the DA to take the case. The DA refused. Then she got personally involved. She met with the assistant DA and took her out for lunch. He told her that she will team up with the prosecution and do the legwork necessary if they would agree to take it to trial. The assistant DA reluctantly agreed. So each day during the trial, the lady detective sat at the prosecution's table and helped try the case. We later found out through our attorney her motivation for doing so. She was taking 2 of her girls to another local gymnastics studio in town and was a staunch supporter. Her goal was to topple our business and eliminate any competition we oppose towards the other gymnastics business. During the trial, she leaked inaccurate, one-sided information and hearsay to another gymnastics studio, her supporters, and the gossip group around town. She delighted in her role and was their hero. Trial March 2000. The trial was short. It lasted 3 days. The prosecution had a very weak case. Rick's case was strong, and each day his innocence was apparent. The jury came back with a unanimous verdict of not guilty within 1 hour of deliberation. Jury's findings: Rick was innocent of rape, and Rick was innocent of inappropriate touching, which was not the other charge. They concluded that it was an unfortunate incident that was not handled correctly, but did not place any blame on Rick. Instead, they placed mishandling square on the Derby Police Department and unprofessional, careless, and vandalizing treatment towards Rick. Truth comes out at trial. We learn as much about the mother and the 9-year-old girl. The judge did not allow this testimony to be heard by the jury. The same incident occurred with the 9-year-old girl 1 year earlier in 1998. A man was one of the previous boyfriends of the mother. The man was serving time in jail for not pulling his hand away. The mother had a new current live-in boyfriend in 1999. He had both girls watching blank with him while the mother was away. He was having blank with the 9-year-old girl. Mother claimed that she hid a payday with Rick and Rust as the gem was going to be hers. Nine-year-old was telling friends at school she was going to be the richest little girl in town. Mother's two best friends were a witness for the defense. They supported Rick. They enrolled their two girls, aged 5 and 6, in Rick and Russ's classes during the trial. They refused to let the 9-year-old play with their children years before the incident in 1999. They felt the 9-year-old girl posed a danger to their children. I learned that the Derby Police Department falsified documents for the DA. On the stand, under oath, the lead detective admitted that he never heard Rick admit to anything. The attorney asked him, "Do you think the charges against Rick were justified?" He said no. He was asked point blank, "Why did you recommend this case to go to trial?" He answered, then he did not know. The attorney for Rick asked the lead detective, "In your professional opinion, do you think Rick Mass is guilty of committing a crime?" The detective said no. In conclusion, over the years, people have talked about this incident as if they were in the courtroom. They did not hear the testimony under oath from the mother, the 9-year-old girl, or the corrupt detectives in the Derby Police Department. They did not get to hear Rick speak under oath or the truth of what happened. They did not hear the facts of the case. They are not aware that in the court of law, the police documents were proven to be falsified. They were not listened to the final findings of the court, nor hear the not guilty verdict from the unanimous jury. Why did we not sue the Derby Police Department? 3 big reasons. We wanted to move on from the incident and put it behind us. We were told that it could be years before anything was settled. 2, we were told that the city would be hard to go up against, that the city could afford powerful, skillful lawyers, and that the odds were in their favor. 3, the cost of legal fees for us to take on the city would be in the 6 figures, and we were broke. We decided to move on with the acknowledge that Rick was found not guilty in a court of law, proven innocent, so we picked up the pieces of our life and chose to persevere. Over the years, it has been up against us. The incident has been a cancer on the lives of Rick and Russ. It has been used for personal gain for others, namely the other gymnastics studio in town and their supporters. They have continued to spread lies and rumors to everyone in attempts to drive business away from us and to her. This group has claimed to know the inside story and gladly shared it with anyone who would listen. The incident has become folklore. Now, 21 years later, with our business expanding to offer a team program, it has energized this other gymnastics studio and their followers to coordinate an attack. They are determined to destroy our business and steal enrollments. They gave up on earning them. They want to take them by default and are willing to say anything to do so. That is the purpose of the slander on social media. It has not reached beyond the confines of the other local gymnastics studio in the city of Derby. Some rumors that need to be addressed. No, we are not on our 3rd business license. Our legal name has never changed. We are known legally under our original business name and have been since 1984. No, there are not any other cases against us. There was just this one single incident in 1999. No, we did not lose our USAG license. We have passed yearly background checks since 2004. No, we are not banned from competing. We are currently certified by the USAG for coaching and competitive gymnastics. So I know that's a lot. Still makes me mad. Sorry, someone's blowing up my phone. Mom, if you're still here, I did see you comment. Sorry, I'm taking a breather because the next part is going to be the hardest part for me. Not hard, but I guess kind of finally. Okay. So that was the response after punch a wall. No, Mom, you can't punch a wall. That was my response. That was their response after I protested. If anyone wants me to send it to them so you can thoroughly read it, some of those things that they said, why would you even mention? There's like no need. Oh my God. Still boils in my blood. And my thing is too, is if all of it was true, why are you deleting it? Why delete it? Why post and delete it? Yes, last year. So all this happened last year. Give me 1 second. All right. So that was their post. I have blocked a lot of people from Facebook due to that. I have block and delete. Block and delete. That is what I have done after that. Oh, I read that and I swear. Oh, if I didn't love my freedom and love to continue this journey because it's not over, I probably would have lose my crap. So that started all this ripple. So all those little things that I mentioned, telling my story on a Facebook group, meeting amazing people. Thank you guys. You all know who you are. Having the right resources, knowing who to contact, keeping this going. Even if everything has been silent, it's always been going. I'm not going to name names, but you know who you are, and we will end this. And I'm so ready. So ready. So, like I said, this weekend, as you can see on the Facebook or the YouTube thumbnail, Lordy, let me get my words together. It said they closed. Yes, it is true. After 20 years, Rick and Russ decided to close their doors. It is me. After 20 years, they decided to close their doors and leave Derby. So remember this, there's no timeline. There's no timeline. These are happy tears and a lot of emotions. Sorry. Let's look together with a roll of toilet paper. Oh man. I had to read something and so I can't cry. Probably cry more. So I got the okay from my source, not telling my source's name. Take it to the grave if I have to. Oh man. Whew. Sorry, I gotta find it. Just be patient with me. I'm trying to see what I can and cannot share from this post. So I'm waiting because all right. So I went after I found this news. So all of the so what I just read, that 5-page summary of the incident that happened, it was mentioning another gymnastics studio that was in Derby. And I am elated to say, let me share my screen. I gotta find this photo real fast. The other gymnastics facility in Derby, Kansas is taking Rick and Russ's old facility. Yay! Karma is amazing. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Love it. Oh. Sorry, I'm reading some of your comments. So this was a long time coming, 20 years. 20 years. They are out of Derby. They do not have a facility right now. They're still able to coach gymnastics, so their license is not taken away. I'm chopping this up a little bit because I don't want to put too much info. Of course, rumors in this town are probably flying like crazy. Whatever. Don't even care. So they no longer have a facility. So this is giving some time to figure out what the next step may be. Because like I said, I am not done. I've came so far in this journey to just want to stop here. I still feel like I'm in a dream, guys. It's just crazy. Oh, it's so crazy. Oh, even 20 years. 20 years. At least I know right now that kids are being safe and I don't have to worry about any more being hurt right now. The silver lining, the bow on the end of this would be to make sure they can't teach gymnastics or be around children ever again. And I'm not going to stop until that happens. I don't want to ugly cry. And let's just be up front. We don't know why they decided to close their doors in Derby. We don't know if it was because of all the pressure and all the crap that they probably dealt with. We don't know if it's financial. We don't know the reason. The good thing is they're finally out of their safety net. They're finally no longer have that facility after 38 years. They have to restart. Um, and hopefully I can fight the good fight and get everything where it needs to be. Yes, I did it for those kids. Oh man. Oh, 20 years, guys. 20 years. Oh, I can't even, like, I have no words. I waited so long to hear those words that they finally closed that I can breathe a little bit because I know it's not done, but it's a start. It's a start to something big. It's a start to something beautiful. It's a start to hopefully a new beginning. And maybe, just maybe, since they're out of that town, maybe people will speak up now and not be so scared. Maybe people will come and tell their truth. I don't want to do it now. I hope and pray it hasn't happened to anyone after me, but probably it has. And I'm going to end this in a little bit because I'm becoming a hot mess express. But I have some information, and Mons, I'll come see you tomorrow, Mom. Please drop my email in chat so I can put it up on my screen. If you, because I want everyone to share this everywhere, and I'm going to share it and I'm going to keep it up. But I want people to know if you have ever, oh, the tears are flowing. If you have ever dealt with any mental, physical, verbal, or sexual abuse from these two brothers during your time at their gymnastics facility, doesn't matter what time their name was, anytime. Oh, let me pin this. Here's my email. Please email me. And I'll put it in the description too. Sorry, my nose is running like crazy now. Please reach out. I have information that you need. I don't really want to go in detail what's going on because I don't want them to catch wind. I just want to keep it private at this time. But if you have ever dealt with these two men and had anything, you were a witness, you felt comfortable, anything, there's nothing too small. Please email me and I will give you the contact information that you need. And hopefully after this step, it will be done. Oh, and justice will be served and no one else will be able to her anymore. And I want anyone else to know, if you've been a victim of SA, remember, you can only fight the fight. You can only fight for yourself. It's a lot of work, trust me, but it's worth it. And it hurts, and there's days I want to give up, but I can't, because I will make sure justice is served. Remember, there's no timeline. Tell your story. Shout it, write it, talk to someone. I know where I live, a lot of people are scared because they want them in jail, but honestly, we have statute of limitations still here where I live. And trust me, that's something else I'm working on. I have so much stuff I'm trying to work on at once, and I just need to do one thing at a time. But when I'm very passionate about something, I'm full throttle. A lot of these survivors don't want to tell their story because they won't be convicted, which sucks. I've tried everything the legal way that I can think of to just to make sure everyone felt comfortable, because your story deserves to be told. You deserve to be able to speak about your story and not feel ashamed, and be able to know that it's always going to be a part of you, but what you decide to do with it and how you decide to grow from it is what's important. You talking about it and you putting it out there in the world and you showing the person that it no longer defines you is you getting your power back. And it, let me tell you, it has been the scariest and happiest thing in my life. And when I got that news this weekend about them finally closing their doors, I felt a little bit lighter. And again, I'm going to end this. I could blow my nose. Probably go outside and breathe the rain. I do have court documents, but like I said, there's too many to go by. Actually, let me show you one. Let me find it. There's one part in here that I want to show, so give me a sec. So his charges were, before I forget, he was going to be charged for rape, or ARP, sorry, YouTube. And his second charge was going to be aggravated aggravated indecent liberties with a child. I think this is the one I need. I don't think it's this one yet. It's not this one. Sorry, guys. Bear with me real fast. What the heck? What are you doing? Really? This is going to be a poop. Oh, Lordy. Oh, man. Hold on, guys. I apologize. Oh. For some reason, I always have issues with this one document. Then I think it's because it's Too many pages. Okay. I believe this is it. Excuse me. Okay. Trigger warning. Probably more. Probably will. No? Well, you might hear the TV, Mom. Let me. Okay, so this is one of my court documents, and I'm gonna read the part to you. It says, admissibly may be tested in the while evidence may be logical relevant, it may because of its substantial prejudice distraction from the main issues. Consumption of the trial time and surprise to the parties be admissible whether or not this victim, so he's trying to say since I was essayed before, so this is where this comes to, whether or not the victim has been a victim of essay crime in the past, is totally irrelevant. Whether this defendant ARPed this child or blanked her to satisfy his own blank desires, there are no other issues of material fact. As to alleged of ARP, this is a general intent crime with the defendant, which the defendant admits happened. The allegation of aggravated indecent liberties with a child, the defendant admits happened, but claims it is the victim who instigated the action, which absolved him of the acquired intent. The defense occurs that this evidence is irrelevant because it would tend to show that SLD blank knowledge didn't come from blank by the defendant, but from her prior victimization at the hands of an adult. What the defendant is actually doing is not showing how the evidence is irrelevant, rather he is trying to attack the victim's character and credibility. The defense is attempting to lead the court and the jury away from the facts of the case by making the 9-year-old victim out to have excessive blank knowledge and prior experience. And this way, the defendant makes the victim look bad and challenges her credibility before the jury. As the court is aware, specific instance of the conduct cannot be used to challenge the character of a witness. If the court finds that the evidence of the blank experience of SLD is irrelevant to the case, the state submits that when weighted against the probative value, the prejudicial effect of the evidence is too great and the evidence should not be admitted. And there you go, guys. That is basically what he said. And he still was found not guilty. Explain that to me. Oh, wait. They couldn't use that. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Just makes me sick, guys. I mean, like they say, when this happens to a child, especially at a young age, it literally takes their innocence and their soul, their pure innocent soul away, and it does. I've had to deal with a lot of trials and tribulations in my life, and some of them I wish I would have learned easier, but I don't regret any of it because it would have made me the person I am today. I just hope that me coming forward can help give people more courage and understand that they're not alone. Besides me, there's tons of people that will support you in making the right decision on coming forward and telling your truth. Remember that saying, the truth eventually will set you free. And it does. Oh, man. So much, guys. I know this one is kind of a heavier live, but it needed to be said and it needed to be put out there to the world. I ask you to like this. I ask you to share this. Please help me spread this word and help past victims to be able to get the courage and stand up. It's not easy. Trust me. And I can't tell you, as being a 9-year-old child, what made me decide to stand up for myself, what made me want to be brave and strong. I can't tell you. I don't know. I know it was wrong and I knew something needed to be done about it. I mean, that's what I was taught and that's what I did. And justice still wasn't served. And that was a big slap in the face. Still is. But slowly, guys, slowly, things are being taken care of. And never in a million years did I ever think that the news that I heard this weekend would ever happen. Oh my gosh. Like, still thinking about it. I still feel like I'm in a dream. I need to pinch myself. So crazy. So crazy. I just want people to know, even if your perpetrator doesn't get arrested or gets the justice, or you don't get the justice that you need, still fight. There's still things that can happen. If I completely just gave up and didn't ever want to speak about this later on in life, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have the outcome that I have now. I mean, there's nothing more than just to tell your truth and just let that weight off your shoulders. It's a hard burden to carry for so many years. Even though I spoke my truth once and went to court about it, but being silent for so long, they still silenced me. They still took my voice. And that is something I vowed to myself once I spoke back up about it. I will not be silent. I will continue to speak my truth. I will continue to encourage people to speak their truth. I will be their support, their backbone. I will do anything that I can to make them feel comfortable on this journey, because it's a wild one. And it's not an easy one. And you have your lows and you have your highs. Yeah, I mean, I agree, Danny. I agree. That's the thing that I said to some of the people that were talking on a post about them closing and whatnot. Oh, man. I kind of got petty Betty and let them have it a little bit. So I just basically told them, victim shaming and telling people that something didn't happen when it actually happened is the worst thing that you can do to a victim, and that they probably should keep their opinions to themselves, and that they should watch the documentary. God, I can't talk now. The documentary Groomed. So if you have Discovery Plus, there's a documentary called Groom on there. Trigger warning. It's an amazing documentary. It kind of gives you the perspective on both sides. And it's very eye-opening. So I suggest if you are a survivor or know someone or any of your family has been affected by this type of situation, please watch it. My husband actually watched it with me, and it was it helped a lot. Let's just put it that way. Helped a lot. Oh, Danny, I had a few other words, but I didn't cuss that. Well, I did, but I had to put 2 stars because they were on Facebook and I didn't want to get deleted. But the post ended up getting deleted because they were on there arguing with people. Just still flabbergasted me. Like I always knew they're always going to have their supporters. They're going to have people that are right next to them. And especially when you have people that come in later after all that, why not? It's good, huh? Sarcastic superhero girl. I'm getting tongue twisted. It's a good documentary. If you guys I suggest you guys watch it. It helps. I'm gonna end up sending my mom my login information so she can watch it. Probably wait a week or 2 because I know she's probably crying right now. I'll have to call her after this. But I think I'm gonna end it here. I don't think I have any more. I'm reading my messages. I don't have any more. I kind of plan to be petty Betty tomorrow because there's another picture. She put a sign on Funtastics building to declare it was hers. And so I want to go. Yes. Groomed has a lot of triggers. So fair warning if you watch it. Don't watch it alone. If you still trauma is very, very, very raw. It's always raw, but don't watch that documentary by yourself. Please don't. Please watch it with someone that you have respect for, that has respect for you, and that you trust. But tomorrow, I was supposed to go before I started this live, but I didn't have enough time, and it's raining cats and dogs out. I want to take a picture at Funtastics old building with me being excited and showing the banner because this is a huge triumph into my story. I do know some people never get justice, and I know some people can't always get the clarity that they want, but I want everyone to know that you're not alone. There's tons and tons of people out there. There's tons of support groups. There's tons of organizations. There's tons of people out there that are willing to hear your story and support you through it. You're not alone. Remember that. For the longest time, my whole entire life, I always thought I was alone. And it took me a lot to decipher that my feelings always made me feel alone because of all the trauma I was put through. And thank God for counseling, because counseling is amazing and it helps you through everything. And that is something I'm going to start getting into again because I just like it. I like the release. I like to be able to talk to a neutral person and vent about anything and everything and not be judged. I love it. It's amazing. But I'm going to sign off. It's already almost 10 o'clock. I didn't think this live was going to take this long, but there's a lot of information that needed to be covered. If any of you guys have any questions or want to reach out to me, you all know how to get a hold of me. I'm I am willing to be an listening ear. We're not all so close, but I can't really be a crying shoulder, but I am willing to help in any way I can. I can try and connect you with the right resources. Whatever you need, I'm here. Thank you all for being very you all mean the world to me. I appreciate y'all being here, listening to this difficult topic. I will not be silenced no more. I will continue to fight the good fight. I will help anyone that is in need during this time. If you ever just need someone to talk to, I'm here. I just appreciate you guys all being here and listening. I'm still in La La Land. Like, I still can't believe that this is happening. Like, I am ecstatic. Oh, I'm all the emotions at once, and it's just crazy. I hate emotions sometimes. But yes, thank you guys for listening and letting me spread the word. Please like this video. If you haven't subscribed, I promise my next live will be a happy live. I still haven't decided which direction I want to go since The Bachelor is over. Ugh, over. But yeah, I'm going to get off here, relax for the rest of the night, get my emotions in order so I can sleep because I only got 3 hours of sleep last night. I'm so tired. But I love you all and thank you. And remember, you're not alone. The truth will set you free. And I'm here for anyone. And I hope I didn't speak in circles the whole time. I hope I covered everything. I think I did. I know I kind of went back and forth on a few things. Yeah, but now I'm just rambling, so I'm going to get off here. I love you all. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I see you all. You all be safe, and I appreciate you all. Bye, guys.